go. Oh, shit. What have I done? There we go. Oh, I'm doing great. I think that's been the first thing that anybody watching this will see going, oh, shit. Right, so tracking first. For folks struggling with tracking, I can only do so much with that. I've done trainings on tracking. I've done tutorials on using MyFitnessPal. We've got the templates for nutrition. I've given different ways that you can track. So all you need to do is go back and watch the tracking training and remember that tracking isn't forever. It's a short-term solution. If you're getting scunnered with it, you won't be doing it forever. So if you do it right the first time, you won't need to do it for long. If you just dip in, dip out, can't be arsed some days, stick to it diligently some days, and you aren't seeing results, then you're just going to make yourself do it for longer. You're going to resent it. You'll get fed up doing it, and you just will absolutely resent the process. So if you can, during the time that you need to track properly, track everything you're having, drinks, foods, cooking oils, everything that you consume. Make sure you're tracking it properly, you're weighing things properly. Because if you're, sometimes when people, they feel really scunnered because they feel like they're doing everything right, but they're not seeing results, when actually they're not tracking that wee biscuit they had while the kettle was boiling, and they're not tracking how much butter they're using when they're making their toast, and they're not tracking how much oil they're putting in when they're cooking. And these things really add up, and it's all the wee bits and bobs that make a difference. It's a wee, it's just a wee biscuit, it's just a wee this, but it does make a difference, and that'll be why you're not seeing results. And if you're not weighing things properly, you're just, okay, that'll do, like, or totally guesstimate. And we always underestimate rather than overestimate. And it's when you do actually track and weigh things proper and you go, geez, I didn't actually realise that was what's in it. So that's a eye opener. So make sure you're tracking diligently and doing it properly. If you are getting scunnered with tracking, go and watch the tracking training, because there's so different ways in it that you can track. So you can either track as you go, and everything you have, you add it as you go, and that's great as long as you remember to do it. If it gets to the end of the day and you forgot to put like all sorts in, if you can't remember what you had for your lunch and you're trying to go back and remember, and then there's things that you're forgetting and all the rest of it, that's not really ideal. But if you are good for remembering everything or tracking as you do it, then that's ideal, that's fine. If you are kind of getting fed up tracking everything as you go, but you kind of have the same foods, or you know what you're going to be having during the week, if you have the same breakfast every morning, then you can log that for the week and that's taken care of. Like for me, if I have my porridge in the morning, then I would track that for every single morning. Or if I have cereal, if I have yogurt or something, then you track that every single day and you put it in. Even if you take time on a Sunday night and go Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I'm going to be having the same breakfast every day. That means that you don't need to log your breakfast every single morning. That's taken care of. If you have the same lunches every day, or if you're using like one of the nutrition templates and you alternate between a couple of the meals, then you can log that for the week. If you know certain nights you have a certain dinner, so maybe like Rona, if you've got hockey on a certain night, you might have a certain dinner that you have before or after hockey, then you can log that and you say, right, Tuesday night is baked potato and tuna night, or I don't know, say for example, and you know you have that every single Tuesday night, then you can, to log that, and that's taken care of. That could be Tuesday done, so that means that you don't even need to log on Tuesday. And then if you have got everything already filled in, you need to change anything, then you just change it as you go, and that's absolutely fine. You just make wee tweaks as you go, but as long as you remember to make those wee tweaks. So that's all in the tracking training thing, and it explains it a lot better than what I've just did in like 2 minutes. But it just goes into a lot more depth, and it gives you options, and it means that you're not getting scunnered with it, and you're not feeling like, oh, I need to track this again, and like it's not a difficult thing. Like we moan about it, it's a privilege to be able to track our food and have this ability to do something so accurately, and something that can be such a quick solution for us. So you can moan about it, but really compared to how people would have gotten by without this, it's such a good thing to be able to use. Like it is a real kind of bonus that we can do something like that. So think of it in a more positive way. Stop kind of resenting it if you feel like you're getting a bit fed up with it. It does get boring, it does become a pain in the arse, but what's more of a pain in the arse is time going on and you're not seeing anything changing. So don't waste your own time. Make sure you make the most of your time and do it right. and then you'll save yourself time and save yourself hassle and save yourself getting fed up and all the rest of it. So go back and watch the tracking training. You'll find it in the Facebook group if you type it in the search bar, because I can't actually share the links on this, which I have been doing, and you can't do that. Go back in the Facebook group and you'll be able to find it. Just be prepared as you can when it comes to your food planning as well. Obviously, think ahead, plan ahead, think what you're having for the week. And accept that you won't always be perfect, even if you do try and be prepared. There'll be days you'll be caught out. There might be days that you're out and about for work and you can't really plan as well. But then if you are having to do that, try and make good choices. So it might be you have to grab like a Tesco meal deal or something like that when you're out. But there are still ways to make good choices that are in line with your goals. So even if you do have, say, 500 calories set aside for your lunch, you can still pick good things. It doesn't mean you need to go and hammer Greggs, or you need to, even if you do go to Greggs, you can still make good choices. You can still pick better options. It's just about being a bit smart and taking the time to look and scan some things into MyFitnessPal. And yes, it might be a pain in the arse, but if you can do it ahead of time, then ideal. Or if you're in Tesco and you're like, do you know what's going to be good here? Can I have something what's got the most protein in it? What's maybe got the least calories in it? Or calories that are going to suit my target? What can I have that's going to fill me up? And what do I actually like? Those are like the 4 things that you're going to look at. That's going to help you make better choices. Look at the protein, look at the calories, look at what's actually in it. Do you even like it? And will it keep you full? That's the 4 things that are going to help. Okay, and then you might be like, do I want a wee something to go with it? Do I want a wee sweet treat? Because obviously with your meal deal, you can say, I really want that Mars bar. I really want that big bag of Doritos, but would a wee pot of grapes actually do me better? Because I don't really need the Snickers. I'm absolutely starving and I'm slavering looking at it. But really my sandwich will be more than enough, and a wee pot of grapes will be more fibre, better for me, keep me fuller, and that wee craving for the Snickers will actually go and I won't be thinking about it in an hour's time. So kind of do those options there, and you can always make good choices. It's hard when you're starving, when you're harassed, when you're on the go, if you're out and about and you're maybe thinking, oh God, this isn't fitting my plan, this isn't perfect. It doesn't have to be perfect, just has to fit. It just has to kind of suit your situation on that day. And again, like I said, being accurate, that's just kind of what I said earlier about weighing things, making sure your serving sizes, portion control, all that kind of thing, you're doing that properly. If it's like a share bag or something, like I had that proper corn you get the other night, and you look at the front of the bag and there's a wee bubble and it says something like 213 calories. You go, a big bag of that's only 213 calories. And obviously in tiny little writing it says per serving, and you go, what's a serving? And then you think, oh God, I could have scanned that big bag easy peasy and it would not have been 230 calories. So keep that in mind. Be mindful of being accurate and with your serving sizes and stuff. Again, the templates, I bang on and on and on about them. I'm going to be asking some people this week if they would mind sharing their templates. Sophie very kindly shared hers last week. And it's just to give you all an idea of different foods and stuff. You don't need to share what your calories and stuff are. Probably better actually not sharing what your calories are, because I don't want other people kind of feeling like they need to be eating exactly what other people are eating. But even if you just share what the meals are, that would be amazing. So I will ask some people this week if they can screenshot and fire them onto the Facebook group. That would be really handy. But the templates, I bang on and on about them, but they do work. They're really helpful to have. And it means that if you are kind of struggling with tracking, then you've got other things to work with. Tracking weekends, a big one. Remember what we said a few weeks ago about not ignoring the weekends. The weekends happen. We eat on the weekends. Make sure you vlog as much as you can. If you have a drink, you have a drink. Vlog it. I don't care. I'm not going to be judging you. I would much rather you just kept a note of what it was, so that we know what you're actually having. And if you are kind of overdoing it every single weekend, we can look at making some wee swaps, we can make wee substitutions, and then it means that I've got something to work from rather than a blank weekend. I don't have a clue what you're having. I don't have a clue if the pattern is that you're getting steamboats and then coming out and having a wee chippy. And I'm not seeing that wee chippy, whereas we could say, well, do you know, if you're going out and getting steamboats, could you maybe just have something when you get up the road? And maybe just not go past Blue Lagoon when you're going for your taxi. We could do something like that. But remember, if you're not losing weight, you're not in your deficit. That's just science, it's facts. If you're not in a calorie deficit, you're not going to lose weight. So if you're not seeing changes and I've given you a calorie target, you're definitely not in it. So you need to go back and look at all these things. You need to watch the tracking training. You need to ask yourself, am I being accurate? Am I weighing everything? Am I definitely keeping note of everything? Am I making good choices? Or am I kind of leaving wee bits out? Am I patching the weekends and not telling Fiona I've been swinging by Blue Lagoon on the way home after my night out? You know, all these kind of things. Because again, I don't care. Like, if you're going to do it, you're going to do it. But we need to have a plan in place so that we can work with it. Because I'm here to help you. I'm not here to judge what you're eating, obviously, at all.
I think it's so much easier to, I would say, after my first few weeks, it was much easier to do the tracking. And I honestly, I don't have a problem with it. It's fine. It's just when it's the, I love when we have a meal that I've already put in this one of my recipes, and then all I need to do is go in and click it, and that's me, job's done, and it's good. Totally. I've not logged, I think it was Friday nights, because I've still not actually, I keep saying to Stuart, you need to give me the recipe so that I can type that in. But it was not one of the ones the other week there. I was like, that can't be right. It was something like olive oil was like nearly 200 calories or something like that. And it was just in a splash. And I'm like, you think that's right? It was bonkers. And that's what I kept saying to him. I was like, that is absolutely nuts. I mean, don't get me wrong, that was for 2 people. But even still, you're thinking all those calories just on olive oil.
I know. It could be a Kit Kat, couldn't it? It could be something else. But it makes such a difference. It is a lot. And if you were to, say you were to cook 3 times a day, that could be 300 extra calories you're adding on.
I know.
Even noticing. Like, I know it's maybe a wee bit of an exaggeration, but if even on a week, you know, that could be a few hundred calories that you're adding on, and it's just not keeping you in your deficits, which that's so true, Rona. But like you said, it is good having these things already logged in, isn't it? Just saves time.
Makes it so much easier. So that's the only reason I think I'm behind, because I've not actually managed to get the recipe for one of them. But all the other ones are, I just do it as I go. And it's normally all right. And I mean, similar breakfast, but even because I've logged it before, I know I can just go back in and I'll be able to find it quite quickly. And it'll be my, as you say, my porridge, my banana and my milk. Tap, 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 and that's it in. So,
absolutely. And then they tend to group them together as well. See, when you have certain foods that you have quite often, they just group them together, don't they? And then you just, like you say, tap, 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 and that's them logged. Simple. Easy peasy. And then the next one is all about motivation. So we kind of touched on this a few weeks ago, and that's why I posted the Nail It November training, because motivation does start to dip this time of year, and it's totally normal, especially we are into November now and Christmas is going to be in sight, and we're kind of thinking, right, okay, we've got all the fun stuff coming up and we've got events, we've got parties and blah, blah, blah. And that's absolutely brilliant. Like, it's definitely the time of year to get excited, but it's also the time of year to try and stay on track as much as you can. That's why I did the Nail It November training, so that you can have a watch at it and see what you can do to make as much of an impact as you can this month. And even going into December, I know I'm talking about this month, but December, you should still be trying your best. You should still be working your arse off in the gym when you can go. Even if you're not going as often, there's still alternatives. There's still ways to keep yourself active. There is always something we can do, like Rona talking about, maybe going for a walk during the day rather than going for a walk at night, because it makes it easier. It's just about making things more accessible for you. So if your motivation's dipping, know that it's normal, but you just kind of need to get on with it. Like, motivation will always come and go. There'll be times of the year you're absolutely buzzing. There'll be times of the year you cannot be bothered. But if you said that to your boss, what would they say? He says, do you know, I'm just not feeling working today. I can't be bothered. They'd be like, right, well, see you after. I'm not hiring you. I'm not having you on, like, to just say that or just not do your work. Obviously, there'll be days you have a wee skive, and there might be days that you don't try as hard as others. But you can't just not turn up. And when your motivation goes, you still need to just turn up and do what you can. And whether it's just, you know, being extra diligent, it's when you're lacking the motivation, you do need to do that wee bit extra. And hopefully by smashing this month and getting some really good habits in place, you won't need to rely on that as much in December. You'll have your good habits in place. You'll be like, right, I'll go up and get my walk in. Right, I'll get up and cook my breakfast, or I'll get up and make sure that I've got my food prepped for the week, or I've got stuff in my diary for when I can go and do a workout, or when I can go and jump in for a fitness class, or do a wee workout at home, or I know that this week's going to be mental, maybe I should ask Fiona if I can get a home workout to do this week because I'm going to really struggle to make it to the gym. Anything like that, like you just need to go that wee bit extra to make sure you get stuff done. And it will be hard because your motivation will be flagging, but like I said, that's the time that you need to actually dig in a little bit deeper and just go for it, because you just really need to lean into your routine. Ask for help if you need it. Ask me if you need, like I said, the home workouts. If you're going to be struggling with your workouts, can you go for more walks? Could you maybe go for a wee run? Could you jump on the cross trainer? Could you do a HIIT class at home? Anything like that, just let me know, because I'm here to help you. I can't physically give you motivation. I cannot pass it on. But you just need to be your own motivation and remind yourself why you're doing it, who you're doing it for, what you want to achieve. Compare yourself to where you were this time last year. Are you doing better? Are you doing worse? Or have you just stayed the same? If you've just stayed the same, you know, that's not ideal either. Like if you've not really achieved much through your, like if you've had particular goals and you've not really hit them, then this isn't the time to take the foot off the gas. If anything, you still want to keep pushing or give it more. Because if you think how you'll feel in January, you'll feel class, especially if you have done so much, made so much progress this year, or however long you've been on your training program. Think of all that progress. Are you going to just scunner it off for December? Really, Christmas is one day, but it's all the other stuff that comes with it. It is the nights out, it's the hangovers, it's the meeting up with pals for drinks, and it's all the extras. And then obviously New Year and that kind of thing. But imagine going into January and just getting back on it, getting back into business and saying, right, I've had a great wee festive period. I've managed to keep up some exercise. I've smashed a few training sessions throughout the month. I've ate fairly well. I've not went totally off the dial, whereas I would have done years before and just used December as an excuse to go absolutely tonto. You can still, do fairly well. You can still enjoy yourself, but you don't need to go absolutely wild. Like, that's why I'm kind of trying to bring out these calories up to maintenance in December, so that you can still go out and enjoy yourself, but also still, keep your results going. And then come January, not feeling like an absolute sack of rubbish. So you're not feeling like, oh my God, I've not exercised in 2 months, and my diet's been terrible, and I just feel absolutely rotten. I'm starting from scratch, and diet starts on Monday. You'll just be going into January feeling good and going, right, I'm going back to my November plan now, because that December was great. You're not having to go, right, I'm on the diet plan, I'm doing this, I'm not eating that, I'm cutting out that. You're just like, right, okay, back to business, and falling back into your routine again. And it'll be such a nice feeling for you, especially if you've been someone that dreads January coming around and like, oh God, here we go. You're just picking up where you left off, and that'll be a nice feeling, and it'll take a lot of pressure off, it'll take a lot of stress off, and it'll just probably give you like a much nicer, more positive feeling going into January, rather than all the restriction and nonsense that we kind of sometimes, like, we can buy into, like all the crazy diets and things like that. So if you feel like your motivation's going, remember, you're not needing to be perfect, like we spoke about before with the tracking and stuff. It's just about leaning into your routine, doing as much as you can, asking for help if you need it, and just reminding yourself that, like, Christmas is coming. It's going to be great this year, because this is going to be one of the kind of more normal years. Even last year wasn't really normal. A lot of stuff was getting cancelled. So this year we can really enjoy ourselves. And by all means, you should be enjoying yourself, but you should also know that you've got your routine in place. You've got goals that you're still wanting to be achieving. So don't feel like you need to totally take your foot off the gas. Still enjoy yourself, but still keep ticking boxes, because you absolutely can do it. There's a way to achieve that balance. I'm not expecting anyone to be having a totally sober, miserable December, because as if after your own. So I don't expect you guys to. So yeah, that's pretty much 3 topics there. I was just wanting to say you guys are doing great on the 28-day abs challenge. We're almost 7 days in, so tomorrow is just going to pretty much be a wee run through of all the exercises you've done already. So all 6 of them, you'll just run through them all tomorrow. But yeah, you're doing absolutely brilliant. I've really enjoyed seeing how you've been getting on with the abs challenge so far. So just keep sharing how you're getting on, tag them in your stories, sharing in the Facebook group, all that kind of stuff, because it's really good to see. I'm going to do a wee December offer. So we've got buddy sessions coming up. So it means that you can get a wee free session. So if you have any friends or family or whatever that you fancy bringing along a session, then they'll get a discount for the PT session and you'll get to come along for free. So the both of you do the session together, but you get it for free. So it's like a wee top-up session for you. It's a wee extra. And then your pal or whoever it is will get it for a discount. So they don't even need to pay full price for it. The two of you get a good wee workout, and it means that you get a wee extra workout as well on top of what you're already doing. So I will obviously have limited availability for it in December, but let me know if you're interested, and we can get you set up for some sessions, and you can do as many as you want. If you sign up, if your pal wants to sign up for a block or something of them, we can even work out something with that. But if you are interested, then let me know, because I won't have, you know, hundreds of spaces available, because I'll still obviously be seeing you lot. But it's just to see if anybody's interested, because I know that in December, even for people that just go to the gym themselves and stuff, they might be struggling, or even if their motivation is going a wee bit and you've got a pal and you say, right, on, it'll only be a couple of quid and you can join along in a PT session with me. And it means as well, obviously if they don't know me, then you'll be there and you can kind of make it a little bit easier for them. Be a little bit, not that I'm not friendly, but it might make them feel a little bit better to see a friend.
Oh, you're very friendly.
Yeah, totally. It can be a bit daunting, can't it? So, but yeah, so I'll be posting a wee bit more about that. It's updated, if anybody fancies it. And well done, Rona, Leslie, and Laura on the team workout. You guys absolutely smashed it. Setting some amazing PBs. You should be so proud of yourself, because I was absolutely buzzing with how well you've done, and I hope you were too, because you absolutely rocked it.
Absolutely, it was good fun. Really good day.
Glad you enjoyed it, Rona. Yep, you've done absolutely amazing. You really did.
It was, do you know, Lunway, it was so fun. I know we were just a small group, but I just think it was really cool. Everybody was supporting each other and so chuffed when somebody was doing better or managing to do, you know, like a higher weight or whatever. But yeah, there was a really nice buzz in the room, so it was cool.
Definitely, that's what it's all about, especially for the strength days, because it can, like, especially how you've got on with the back squats, like failing them and like dropping the bar and learning how to do that.
Going for a wee rumple.
Because you can imagine if you're in like a pure busy gym and you ditch the bar and you're like, oh my god, did them to see that? But it's actually totally fine to do. It's the safest way to do it, and you just having the confidence, just right, and it helps you kind of get over a fear a wee bit, doesn't it? And having everybody supporting you with it, it's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was just desperate to go for a wee rumple on the ground, that was all. Yeah.
You just wanted a wee rest.
I know, I was like, oh, I think I need a seat now.
The most dramatic way I've ever seen it. Oh, I've had enough of this squatting nonsense. Drop that bar.
I know. No, my legs aren't going to get me back up. I'm going for a seat.
Exactly. Nice one. Well, that is pretty much everything there that we were kind of looking to talk about.